Market recovers from opening lows. It opened lower on weak global cues, but now it's flattened out. Oil and gas stocks gain, FMCG gains, while IT and real estate stocks drag. The Nifty Bank, a relative underperformer.
Adani Group stocks gain after the group repays share-backed debt worth close to 7,300 crores ahead of its maturity, that which was April 2025. They're releasing share pledge in Adani Ports, Adani Enterprises, Adani Transmission, and Adani Green.
Krishna Diagnostics surges today on the news that the company has operationalized 100 pathology centers as was part of its BMC contract, which it won in January. The company will provide lab investigation facilities for BMC dispensaries and hospitals in Mumbai.
Vardhaman Special Steel's gains in trade on news that the company has tied up with Toyota's global supply chain to start mass production of steel.
Shriram Finance gains after a 3.16% equity trade versus worth 1450 crores change hands at an average price of 1230 rupees per share. Sources tell CNBC-TV18 that a private equity investor is the seller and DIIs as well as FIIs are significant buyers in the block deal.
Hello and welcome to Chartbusters. I'm Nigel D'Souza and joining me as always is Mangala Malu. Well, we've got a power-packed show. We've got two managements for you. So let's get straight to the first management on the show. JTL Industries, they recently issued close to 1.3 crore warrants to non-promoter entities at a price of around 300 rupees per share, out of which 25% has already been called and the rest will be called within 18 months. To understand what's the outlook from here on, we're joined by Mr. Pranav Singla, who is the Executive Director of the company. Hi, Pranav. Good morning. And first of all, wishing you and your team happy Holi. Wishing you all the best. But let's...
Very good morning. Happy Holi to you as well.
Let's focus on the rationale first, of you raising this money. Could you tell us the entities that you have mentioned? Are they HNIs? Are they family members? Who are they precisely? Point number one. And point number two, when you initially came out with this announcement, you all were talking about 400 crores of fundraise. It appears that scaled down to around 384 crores. Is that correct?
Yes, let me come on that. So the total number of allottees earlier that was 77, but as the allotment went through, the allottees were brought down to 69. The reason for this was because some of the people were disqualified from entering the preferential. There's some guidelines in which 6 months the people who've been trading the share in the past 6 months cannot apply for the warrants. So the same people, the ones who have been cancelled out, 8 people, so they were trading the JTL in the past 6 months. So that's why they were disqualified from the category and they couldn't enter the list. And if you talk about the people, it's a mixture of HNIs and institutes. Like there is one institute called Carterfield, so that's there in the list as well. So that comes under the institute as category as well.
We see a large amount of this going to non-promoter entities, but at the same time, your second name is Singla. We have Ashok Singla, HUF as well. So just wanted to understand if there are some family relatives, promoter-controlled entity, if not promoter entities itself, which have been allotted shares, and how much would that account for in this overall 384 crore worth fundraise?
No, there's nothing from our relatives or something or the other. There are many Singlas, so probably he's one of those. And this all was managed by our merchant bankers. So all these names were given by those. So
okay,
it's just those people.
All right. Pranav, the purpose you're mentioning of raising this money is to retire some debt and also to raise the capacity. But I'm looking at debt, it's not too much. Is there a possibility that you're looking actually at some inorganic growth?
So right now, as we mentioned, that we have a plan to reach a capacity of 1 million tons.
Right.
And so this capex would be highly be going towards that as well. And if any plant arises in a situation where it is viable for us and giving us good potential, we'll be in the front foot and acquiring it in the same phase as well.
No, but Pranav, currently the plan to go from around 400,000 to around 1 million tons, that's already, laid out, right? That's all organic.
So, no, so the plan has been laid out like it's going to be greenfield operations. But if any plant arises as and when where we can just acquire it, we won't be shying off from that as well.
But are you all in talks as of now? The streets, Pranav, the streets' initial understanding was you're raising this money. Maybe you're looking at some inorganic growth. Has that fallen through?
We are in talks with somebody, and so there might be a news coming in, but I'll keep you posted for the news as well.
Can you tell us a little about...
It's really hard for me to disclose the names and everything right now.
Okay, a rough size, that's all that we need.
No, there's nothing in size right now like that I can explain you in exact words right now. but it'll be a 1 lakh ton capacity. That's
1 lakh ton capacity. And you're in advanced stages. I presume maybe in a couple of quarters we will have a lot of clarity.
Yes.
All
Okay.
right.
And Pranav, I'm just looking at your company. You all are trading at around 2 times sales. So that acquired asset as well, will you looking to be paying something in that vicinity?
Yes, we'll be looking to pay in that facilities only.
Okay, all right. And where could this plant be? Which part of India geographically, if you could tell us, what is your target market?
So right now I can give you the information about the brownfield operations that we're doing that's in Maharashtra and Raipur, but it'll be really hard for me to give emphasize on the locations and everything right now.
All right. Okay, Pranav. The other concern is that this fundraise that you've done, over the next 18 months, you will call for the other 75% of this fund, etc. as well. Your current market cap close to around 2,000 odd crores. You've raised funds which dilute your equity up to 25%. Promoter shareholding from 72% has fallen all the way down to 44%. You also have an impending merger with JTL Industries. So with all of this happening, where does promoter stake finally settle?
So right now, as of today, the promoter holding stands at around 43%. And if you got the post-diluted merger and warrant holding, it's going to further increase by 7%. So after the scenario of 18 months, you should see our holding going up to 50%.
So in 18 months, it goes up to 50%. And thereafter, will the promoters be looking to buy any more? Because in this round of fundraise, promoter stake actually diluted because the amount has been raised from all non-promoter entities.
Yeah, so we couldn't enter the warrants this time because there's a clause again for promoters as well. That because we recently did a Kotak Mahindra block deal a few months back. So we were ineligible to enter the warrants category right now, all the promoters. So that's the major reason that we couldn't enter. So in the further coming months, you can see the promoters putting in some money as well.
Okay, all right. When we spoke last time around, we were quizzing you about institutional participation. You said there was some, and that's reflected in the shareholding pattern as well. So we take note of that. Kotak's name has appeared in there. Let's wind this down then with targets for the coming year. FY23, earlier you were talking about, volumes of around 275,000. That's post that merger with JTL Industries. So I'm guessing that merger takes place, and do you get to that mark with EBITDA per ton guidance of around 4,500, around 5,500 rupees per ton? And also for FY24, you were guiding for a fairly decent number of around 3.5 lakh. Do you stick to that as well?
Definitely, we have a healthy order book right now for 3 months as well. And we are well on track to achieve the volumes that we've mentioned before. So I think, and the merger is yet to happen, and that's going to happen on 16th of March because that's the date mentioned at the Honorable NCLT in Chandigarh. So we see all things coming in place together, and we should be expecting what we mentioned before.
So 2.75 lakh for this year, and for next year, at least 3.5 lakh.
3.5 lakh plus.
So 3.5 lakh plus, and approximately EBITDA per ton of around 5,000?
Around 4,500 to 5,000 range.
All right. Pranav, thank you so much for joining in and giving us all those details. Once again, festive greetings for you and your team members. We will continue our conversation as and when you make the announcement of the company that you're in talks with for acquisition. With that, take a short break, come back, get you more on the markets, individual stocks, but also another management. We have Rishi Pilani, who's the Chairman and Managing Director of Ganesh Benzoplast, joining in to discuss their business outlook.